20 years ago, I'd come into the industry. I wanted to do everything that came my way. I had the perseverance. I didn't have the patience. Today I have the patience, and I feel like emotionally I'm far more, ahead of myself than I ever was.
I saw the Egyptian how they love Neha in the movie. I saw the American how they love Neha in the movie. She has the qualities for international acting, not just Indian acting. Sure, guys, India, like Neha for us too, not just for Indian. And I'm so excited for the next part.
Thank you. Oh my God, we have a film announcement.
Yes.
Can I get just that clip so that if he
What
casts
is the
someone
contract?
else,
You got it.
yeah, it's happening here right now. I've just been cast in another international film. Yeah.
Lovely. So here we are today on a very sunny, glorious day at Dishoom Covent Garden here on Filme Shilmy, and we are celebrating the European premiere of 52 Blue at the London Indian Film Festival. And joining me is director Ali and actor Neha Dhupia. So a warm welcome to you both, and thank you so much for joining me on Filme Shilmy.
Thank you very much. It's so nice, and thank you for the lovely introduction.
Wonderful. Well, look, Ali, I think I'm going to begin with you actually. So, from the films about previous works that you've done, I think what I've really liked about the sort of concepts behind all of them is that sport seems to be like a very subliminal theme in your films. But most of it really centers on innocence. It's about coming of age, and I guess going beyond the status quo and trying to really make life work beyond what works for people in society. How much of that was a real, I guess, pretext for you in terms of making 52?
Sport is always international language, and always to add to our stars. Sport, I dream to meet Muhammad Ali, who did boxing before, and Ashish has dreamed to meet Messi. It's not about meeting the star, it's to meet ourselves. It's meeting the world. And Neha in our movie, she gave this opportunity to Ashish. She's the one who tried to match it. She tries to give her opportunity for herself and meet the world.
You know, it's interesting though, because I feel like when I watch the film, there's a texture, and I think the way it's made it really reminds me of Majid Najib, and his sort of cinema, because his movies often revolve around that, like the themes that I mentioned, about finding, about innocence, trying to navigate their ways when they're dealing with tragedies, but also trying to, pursue life of ambition and hope. So, was he always a filmmaker that you kind of doted upon, or was that just my interpretation of that?
Of course, but this movie is specific. It's coming from two stories. It's my story, it's my dad, and my and I met some people in the World Cup came to the World Cup to meet Messi. And this is a competition I did with the story. But the story, what you saw in Kerala, and the mom you saw, and the dad you saw, it's my mom and my dad. And this is the key. Like when the first time I meet her in Zoom talking about the movie, she said like, oh, what this character means to you? So it's my mom, and she said I'm him. And her mind, she said like we will talk, she said no, I'm him. And this is what made me so excited to work with this.
This is such a beautiful segue to come to you, Neha, actually, because look, Neha, I think it's really fascinating because, if there is anything that I have extrapolated from your work in cinema, is that even if we look at the comedies that you've been a part of, like Chup Chup Ke and all these big ensemble casts, like, you've often been this stern figure, but also very generous and kind-hearted at heart. And I think it's really interesting because I feel like your character in the film as well is dealing with her emotions, she's dealing with grief, she's dealing with all sorts of tragedies in her life, and that sternness comes from that, but then also as the mother who wants to see her son pursue a life, you've also got that gentleness. How have you managed to really compartmentalize and I guess sort of evolve as an artist with those emotions over time?
Firstly, I want to thank Ali that he saw me as Lakshmi in 52 Blue because it's taken me so many years to convince an industry that I've been a part of that I can also do this. That I also have kind of this shade in me, or I can play characters like this, but it doesn't come my way. I'm going to be honest. So when I spoke to Ali, I loved the film, but I didn't understand the grain and the texture of the look. Because you're also, like you said, you've seen my body of work, and people are very used to seeing me a certain way or a variation of that. Thursday was closed. We went completely de-glamorous. A couple of other films I've had the opportunity, but to have the vision, to see me as a woman who's settled in, Kerala, and to have that level of, of being that ethnic is something that doesn't usually come my way. So I was over the moon, and I know that he was shortlisting between multiple people, and as greedy as you are, even if you've been working for 20, 25 years, every day from the time you get that call, either you don't get the call, but once you get the call saying you're in the shortlist, it's the worst time to actually, from the shortlist to actually waiting for the job. And as an actor, I would call my manager every day, did I get it? Did I get it? And he's like, if you don't get this, you'll get something else. I'm like, no, but I want to do this, I wanted, because I knew that it doesn't matter. The fate of the film is something no one can decide. Neither can he, neither can you, neither can anyone. It's the audience, and it's far and wide. But what you can decide for yourself are the choices you make with the options you have. So this is the choice I really wanted to make. And and I don't think, to go back to your question, I'm not sure if I would be able to layer, or if I would have had the ability to layer Lakshmi as much, or if I wasn't a mom myself.
Exactly.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
And then, because once you become a parent, I don't think any loss affects you that much. Not because you become indifferent. I'm sorry, I'm going to take that again. Any loss affects you that much, not because you become indifferent to the world, but because you have so much love for your own children that nothing else matters. But it's such a scary place to be, because that kind of love also teaches you so many new things. Like, it brings in fear, it brings in anxiety, it brings in happiness, it brings in sadness, your emotions are so on the surface. Things that would just, in your 20s and 30s, I would find joy through, like, travel, or like, a good meal or shopping, and I'm just like, take me away from here. And the only thing I'm craving even now is out for my kids, because I'm sitting in London. So when he told me that, you'll have to deal with loss, but you have to deal with joy, but you have to also deal with, the present, but you have to deal with the past, and all of it as a mother. I mean, for me, I'm not saying it was easier, but the understanding was a lot more, because I'm a parent now compared to, like, 8 years ago.
It's interesting because you've always been someone who has really campaigned for social change, for good social change. And I think, you've often been someone who's been vocal about that. And I think what this film really does, there was a film called Goody a few years ago that came out, Rishikesh Mukherjee's film, which really showcases the reality versus dreams. I mean, that was in the lens from film. Here it's the lens of sports and the global arena of sports. And actually quite timely that we're seeing this film, especially given the fact that the World Cup of 2026 is its last.
I must interrupt over there. I feel like Ali kind of delayed it and made it intentional. I don't think it was not timely, or it just happened. The film was done about 24 months ago. But I think it's also the bright minds of the producers, that sometimes you just need to time it. Like, in this climate, to say there's a film about Messi, or a little boy from Kerala fanboying over Messi, that's when you have, like, oh my god, like, oh, okay, Messi everywhere. Because it's just everywhere, right? Because globally, there's a movement around football. There's a phenomena that's going on. So half his campaign is taken care of. So, I mean, you have to give him enough credit.
Absolutely. I think on a final note, because we do have to conclude. Look, 20 years, right? You've waited. I think you've definitely been waiting, and you've been so patient and perseverant. I mean, you've excelled so much as a chat show host. Like, you need to do that, my friend. So much you've achieved over these years. Now that you've got this absolutely beautiful gem and that you've worked on the international global front, what do you think now fires you in terms of within as an artist?
I think I crave good work every day. I'm just glad that I still have that fire in my belly. It's just, and it really comes from a place of like, I know I'm capable of more and I know I can do it, but at the same time, I wait for the right opportunities. But I genuinely have more faith in myself as I am older. Like 20 years ago, I'd come into the industry. I wanted to do everything that came my way. I had the perseverance. I didn't have the patience. Today I have the patience, and I feel like emotionally I'm far more ahead of myself than I ever was. So I know that I can deal with characters that come my way in a way that I couldn't have earlier. But most importantly, I just feel, when you're new in the business, you feel like I need to do everything because I don't know how long this will last. Now, 20 years later, the one thing I know is that I don't need to do anything else. This is where I am. I feel accepted, and it took a really long time. Sometimes it takes 2 years of waiting to get that one project in comedy that you want to do. Sometimes it takes 20 years in waiting to play that one ethnic role. But I'm okay, and I'm in no rush. But at the same time, I'm here to stay, and I'm trying to stay up to speed with everything that's happening.
I mean, you didn't take Charlie's Key last year, but
Yeah.
and you did a garam masala. So it's good that you've done that and now you've done this.
Yeah, and I've done like Singh Is Kinng, and I've done Ved and multiple other comedy films, and today I'm here, and like I must tell you, like coming in on the flight, there were a whole bunch of actors who were going in actually to Glasgow to shoot for another project, and they were like, "What are you doing?" So I'm like, "We have an opening film and live at the London Film Festival." And they looked at me and they were just like, "Hey, congratulations." And some of them, like I was with Vinay Pathak, and he was just like, "I know how long you waited for this." And for him, maybe it's like absolutely normal to kind of be a part of multiple film festivals. But for me, it's not. But I really want to take each day as it comes. I know it's very, very cliche to give an answer like this. But then to have someone from some other part of the world, I've never even asked Ali how he stumbled upon my photograph and what he saw. And even when I was sitting across the table from him right before our first reading, in our first meeting, like physical meeting, I kept telling him, like, "Are you sure this is me?" Because I have Adil sitting next to me, and to have the opportunity of working with him as well. So it's a world or a territory unknown, but a territory I was craving to be in. So yeah, no complaints at all.
Absolutely. Well, look, thank you so much.
Thank
Neha.
you,
Thank
Raj.
you so much. Sorry,
Before
thank
we enter the frame,
I want to add one thing to
Yes.
Neha. Neha, I feel, or I believe this is the right time for Neha to be in the international market. I saw the Egyptian how they love Neha in the movie. I saw the American how they love Neha in the movie. She has the qualities for international acting, not just Indian acting. So guys, India, like Neha for us too, not just for Indian. And I'm so excited for the next part.
thank you. Oh my God, we have a film announcement.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Can I get just that clip so that if he
What
casts
is the
someone
contract?
else,
Yeah,
You
I got that.
had to make films for me first.
it's happening here right now. I've just been cast in another international film. Yeah.
Lovely. Well, look, on that very explosive note, thank you so
Thank you.
much. Thank you, Neha. Thank you so much.
What a lovely interview. Thank you.
Thank you so much.